So Gareth, thank you very much for joining us. Lovely having you here. Guys, Gareth is from 2Futures. So 2Futures is the largest property developer in Mauritius, and Gareth himself has been coming to Mauritius for 28 years, so virtually local. Yes, Gareth is also a very keen property investor himself, and keen to hear what you have to say today.
Michael, thank you firstly for having me here today. It's wonderful to be here. Yeah, it's been 28 wonderful years. I've watched the island grow, and it's been a very interesting growth pattern, and certainly very good as an investor coming into the island at the moment now, property-wise. It's got lots of scope for growth.
Agreed. So we've seen recent legislative changes in 13 December, and we've been getting a lot of questions about that. I'd just like to touch on that quickly, maybe saying, so obviously now clients can find, when buying from a developer, they can buy either G+2, which can be financed from zero, and then also anything above $750,000, they can borrow the amount above $750,000. Maybe just touch on what is a G+2 for the audience.
Michael, quite simply put, G+2 is a ground plus two. So it will be a ground level apartment block with 2 levels above it. So it would effectively be 3 levels. Okay. It can still have a basement below if it needs to, so that's not a problem. It's a scheme that the government have come up with. They've had previous schemes in the past have been named RES or IHS or PDS. They have changed. They're not all the same, and they've all got different rules and conditions attached to them. With ground plus two, it's a fairly simple process to go into, and that is the only one that is exempt if you're outside of smart cities. Funny enough, the only one exempt at the moment for having to get a bond. So you can basically go ahead and get a bond on it, no problem with ground plus two. So it's a very popular one with foreigners.
Okay, so if the G+T were to be inside a smart city, you could not finance it, but because the G+2 is outside the smart city, you can get financed.
Correct. That's the way the government have positioned it at the moment, but things do change.
Okay, interesting. Any G+2 that 2Futures are busy that you find interesting at the moment?
We've got 2 lovely little G+2 at the moment that I would recommend. In the west, we've got Sunset Cove, beautiful boutique style little development of about 32 apartments, about 300 meters from the beach, from restaurants and from shopping and clinic and healthcare. Wonderful position. And then we've got one up here in the north called 2 Beach Collective, which is literally across the road from the Peribere Beach. Amazing little product, great for short-term rentals.
A lot of nice restaurants in that area too. Yeah. Maybe we can also touch on refinancing. So something I definitely wanted to discuss was the options of that. I don't know if you guys are seeing any of those deals come through, but we dealt with a very interesting one recently. Basically what happens is the clients have villas or larger properties already, and like you said, a lot of guys reinvesting into Mauritius. So got existing properties and often buy a second, third, fourth, even fifth one. Guys with existing property or two is they'll actually take a loan against that property. So the guy's got a property paid for worth $2, maybe $3 million. He'll pull out $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 worth of equity and actually go and buy something else off that. Something that we're seeing that's really interesting at the moment.
Michael, I agree. We're finding a lot of our Mauritian, let's call it people who've bought into Mauritius already, foreigners, they definitely are a high percentage now of second and third time buyers in Mauritius. So once they understand the flow of business here, it can be a bit slow for some people, but it is very stable and a very safe place to put your money. And I think for a lot of investors, that is prime.
Yes, absolutely. It's a diversification from the global chaos we're seeing at the moment. So also something that we notice on these refinancing options that the guys do is because the loan to value is so low. So the guy has got a $3 million property, but he's only loaning maybe $500,000 or $600,000 against it. The banks find that very appealing because the risk is low. And for that reason, you can actually get away with very low interest rates.
Oh, wow. Okay, so basically clients come to you then, is this my understanding, they come to you and you will then go out and outsource for them the best possible rates and deals that you can find amongst the finance houses, the banks that are around here.
Exactly. So we try and make the deal happen. So if the client, obviously there's age limits, so age 65 can sometimes be an issue, or the client currency, or the way he wants to structure the deal. He wants a specific product and he owns something else, or he might have an investment portfolio. We go and structure the deal with the bank. So we sit down with the bank to say, okay, look, this is the client, we've collected all his KYC, here's his pack, here's what he's worth, here's how his assets and liabilities are structured globally. This is what we want to achieve, and we come up with a solution together. We then go back to the client and present, most of the time, at least a couple of solutions. We like to do a minimum of 3, present the solution to the client. Client will then pick one, and then we'll proceed with that bank. So we do the follow-up, we do the meet with the evaluators, with the EDB as well. We just make sure at least the process is flowing, so that all the moving parts then don't hold up the deal.
Oh wow.
So get the client into their slice of paradise as quickly as possible.
Fantastic. Okay. I'm sure that helps because it's never easy investing outside of your own jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
So the ease of doing business with what you guys are offering seems very appealing.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. I mean, the agents and the developers referring to us have been very generous. So we've had a lot of good business coming. We've been trading a bit under a year now, and it's starting to see some repeat business, which is amazing. Very grateful for that.
Have you found, because you're dealing with a lot of the different banks, that you've got very competitive interest rates that you can offer your clients?
I think the interest rates are becoming more competitive because of the change in legislation. So the banks are receiving less business. So you can't finance a PDAs or a smart city anymore below 750. So what we see is that the banks are a little bit more eager for the business because they're seeing a bit of a slowdown in flow, which is great for the consumer. So the rates are more competitive, the turnaround times are a bit quicker. It just flows a little bit better.
Oh wow, okay.
It's good for everyone involved.
So the buyer wins for the better rate at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So rates are low at the moment. Anything from about, you could go as low as 3.8 if you're doing a pledge portfolio, maybe even 3.5%, all the way up to 7 or 8%, depending on currency, the way you structure the deal, what the collateral is, what your personal risk profile is, and the product that they're purchasing as well. We see that makes a difference too.
Wow, very nice. Okay, well that certainly is very interesting, and I think because more and more buyers are repeat buyers, it definitely is something that's going to grow.
So it's a beautiful island, and love to share it with more of the world.
Fantastic. It's a lovely place to come and buy. Yeah, I couldn't say it better.
Thank you, Gareth. Thank you guys for your time. We will put Gareth's contact details in the bio as well, should you want to reach out to him directly.
Thank you very much.